Mic check. Is this what you want? Yes, this is what I want. Why do you want it? Because someone told me I need it. Is this what you want? Well, if anyone's following this video blog of mine, they know by now that I'm opposed to this movement or idea to have a constitutional amendment which deprives corporations of personhood, as it's described, which is truly insane. Now, I'm not certain where this started. This person on Russian television, Tom Hartman, wrote a book about it, I guess, and I didn't read his book. It's kind of hard for me to believe that this whole thing is totally attributable to him. I know Bernie Sanders, a socialist. I consider myself to be a socialist, but I don't relate to his thinking on this particular aspect. But several people told me that there's this Citizens United case that they blame this whole thing on, and they say that if corporations are stripped of personhood, that this horrible, ungodly evil created by this decision is going to somehow disappear, which is complete and utter bullshit. In the first place, this Buckley versus Vallejo decision, which I do not necessarily agree with, and I may refer to that later, really, as far as I could recall, makes absolutely no mention of corporations. However, it does mention associations. And the reason it does so is because of what the court was reviewing, which is legislation by Congress. Now, a case that came later than Buckley v. Vallejo, and where corporations were first granted this right by the courts as legislation from the bench. Former Associate Justice Powell was the grantor. Was the First National Bank of Boston versus Bellotti, which is available at volume 435, page 765. Now, this is a plurality decision, which means that there was only one person that made it the decision as such. It was a 5-4 decision. Now, there's the two leading dissents here. There's the white dissent, which Marshall and Brennan joined. And there's also the William Rehnquist dissent. There have been times in my existence where I have agreed with William Rehnquist decisions. It's extremely rare, but there are occasions. And his dissent in this case is absolutely awesome. It's perfect. There's no reason for me to even discuss it any further. You should just read his dissent, which begins at page 822. Now, this is kind of interesting because this case was decided in 1978. And these various laws that were passed. One was in 1971. The other one, I think, was this bipartisan something or other, was passed in, I think, 2002. Now, it's interesting to me that between the years 1978 and 2002, especially for all the worship, adoration, and altar building that conservatives have done in the memory of William Rehnquist, when he was alive or now that he's dead, that no one took this up, that no one formed any sort of legislation based on his dissent. And it would seem to me that if you want to somehow regulate and control corporations in this manner, that you should follow his dissent in this case. The First National Bank of Boston versus Bellotti, 435 U.S. 765. I'll make notes of it here in the bottom. I'm still reviewing these various cases, and I haven't looked at the Citizens United case. Someone has referred me to the Stevens dissent in that case, and I noticed that White in some other case mentioned something about that the First Amendment protections were designed to protect individuals rather than associations, which really is kind of hard for me to grasp. But you know, these points that they make about newspapers and things like that, book publishers and things. Of course, like Rehnquist says, that there's corporations that are chartered for specific purposes. And if this speech element doesn't appertain to the various purposes in which they're established for, then there's no reason to offer or extend, in his language, 14th Amendment protections to them, which I essentially agree with, whether it's the 14th Amendment or whether it's the 5th Amendment. So I don't even know if there's really anything more to say about it in terms of this actual proposed solution to something. I don't know exactly what it is that they're trying to remedy, this Hartman and Saunders. But the whole thing just doesn't make any sense to me. I'll continue to listen to another feed blog.